Welcome back to the third session of today and my second session. And the target class is still class 5 and 6. Okay, today Gideon's Targila will be dealing with class 7 and 8 and I am dealing with class 5 and 6. So in the first session, the poetic devices that I discussed with you were simile and metaphor. And for this session, the poetic devices that I am going to discuss with you are alliteration and personification. Okay. So, before I continue with my lesson, I just want to kind of, because when Gideon Sargila was taking his session, so I just went through the session that was already covered before going through Gideon Sargila's live session, and there I happened to see in the comment section. So, I really welcome all the comments or suggestions that you give. So, in one of the suggestions, like it was made for inviting ideas from students rather than giving my own ideas. So, that's a very good suggestion. If this was an actual classroom situation, I would love to do that. Okay. So, inviting ideas from students. So, whatever I do here, I have to pretend that I have a number of students sitting in front of me. So, this is an online class, a live session going on. I am in front of the camera. So, I have to pretend that the camera is my student. So, it's very difficult, or you can say not possible inviting ideas from students. But then we remember telling from the beginning that if you have any suggestion or points, you can always write in the comment section, right. So, and it's like, see, taking the class and then looking at the live telecast going on, it's not a kind of convenient. Okay. So, I don't in a way watch what's going on. Okay, the live webcast I cannot see. I see all the things later on when the session is over. So, this is just to in a way help you get the idea that it's very difficult. Okay. Inviting students' idea like in a live classroom. Okay. So, but what we can do is, see, the students, if they have idea, you can always write in the comment section. Okay. And maybe I felt that suggestion came up when I was discussing or writing down the topic ideas for writing the poem, right. The flowers, raindrops, trees, the wind, the sun, because see, we have a fixed time, right, 30 to 45 minutes, and within that time, in a way, we have to cover the thing that we prepare, we plan, right, and prepare. So, what I can in a way tell the students that, see, today I took the idea, I decided to choose to write on raindrops. Okay. So, what you can do is you can write on the sun, the wind, the trees, the flowers, if you feel like you have more things to write about that. So, this is something you can try. Okay. So, I told in the very beginning, I wish this is a actual classroom happening and I have students here, so that I can see your different ideas, your topic ideas, how you are going to do that. So, what I have to do here is only kind of pretend that I can see you. Okay. So, then okay, there was one more comment. Is she learning or teaching? So, one particular person gave two comments. Is she learning or teaching? Of course, teachers are learners, right? We are lifelong learners because we learn so that we can help our students learn. Okay. And one thing I want to in a way clarify, when I am following the writing process, I have to pretend, I have to take role of a student in a way, trying to draft, trying to work on the pre-writing stage, revising. So, some mistakes I deliberately make here, and then I try to find out, oh, I have made this mistake. This is just to help the students understand and see that these things happen when you do or when you follow the writing process. And just writing a poem, a short poem on a topic on the spot may not be very easy. Okay, you have to be prepared with that. Okay, today when I am going to take the class, I am going to discuss, or I will write a piece of poem on raindrops. That's something pre-planned, but I have to, in a way, kind of make the students understand that this is how the writing process goes, and you have to think. So a lot of things, like the teachers need to, in a way, pretend, act, so that students understand, they learn, right? So making mistake, correcting this, so everything is like done here, so that students see. Otherwise, like I can come up with a fresh piece with no mistake, no errors, but then learning for students won't happen. Okay, so that is one reason. Okay, and so I have to look at the timer I have set. Okay, my mobile phone here. So repeatedly I have to bend down looking at the time. So I felt like that might have happened like come out like a sort of distraction. So you felt like I am just copying from something, looking down again. That's fine. Okay, so see, even teachers, like you have your notes prepared, you prepare. See, you don't come to the class without any preparation, isn't it? You plan, right? You have your lesson plan, you plan what you are going to do, and you come. Okay, so sometimes you may take help of the notes that you have already prepared. So you can take help of the note, and then you can just continue. There's no harm. Okay, so if bending down, looking at the timer, and this is a kind of distraction, I'll try to avoid that. Okay, so this is in a way just trying, because I happened to see the comments, so just trying to clarify the things that may in a way disappointed you or came as a distraction. Okay, so leave the comment section here. Okay, now we will focus on, okay, since I'm dealing with the same group of students, right, class 5 and 6. So our aim, the common goal we have is to help the students during this pandemic, though their teachers are doing their best in a way, but we are, Kedin Sargila and I, okay, from representing our committee, we are trying to complement and support the teachers, okay, and discussing the skills and the learning standards that we expect from students reading in class 5 to 8. Okay, so we request our viewers to please bear with us, because this is a new normal for us. So normally we do in a normal classroom teaching, right, standing in front of camera and teaching. We can say being a part of a live classroom is not something that is normal. Okay, but we try to make an effort to help the students who are watching or who will watch later on, because all the videos are saved in a way, isn't it, later on. So we are trying to make an effort. Okay, so poetic devices that we are going to discuss now. Alliteration. Okay, it is a poetic device in which repetition of sound occurs at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. Okay, so what you need to remember is there's a repetition of sound, okay, and where beginning of adjacent, okay, or you can say the consecutive words, you can say, or closely connected words. So if there's like two words, okay, in between, if there can be just one or two words, it's fine, very closely connected, or you can say neighboring words. Okay, it is also called head rhyme or initial rhyme, like you have end rhyme, isn't it? So this one is head rhyme, because you have the repetition of sound at the initial, the beginning. Okay, it is the repetition of sounds and not letters. So what you need to remember is it is the repetition of sounds and not letters. So sometimes what happens is students get confused. Okay, so from my experience, I'm just telling you what happens is alliteration, you have the idea that there's a repetition. So what happens, because most of the time, see, for repetition of sounds, you see repetition of letters, okay, but that may not be the case always. So, like I remember the poem that Gedin Sargela shared with you in his session, Brook. In this poem, I remember this is from grade 9. So, years back when I was teaching, okay, grade 9 English, I remember. So, there's particular word where I have found my students getting confused, okay. See, Phillips farm. So, what you see is the initial letter is P here, and here the initial letter is F. Okay. So, though this is an example of alliteration. Okay. Now, the confusion is if the students feel that the initial letters have to be same. Okay. So, they might make mistake saying that this is not an example of alliteration, which is not the case, because our focus is not on letters but sound. Okay. So, what we need to think is Phillips, f, okay, Phillips, sound is there, right, and then farm. So, the sound produced is not by the letter P but PH, okay, and then here farm, Phillips farm. So, undoubtedly this is an example of alliteration, right, Phillips farm, okay, same sound though the letter is different. Okay, will you keep that in mind? Good. So, what next? Okay. So, it is the repetition of sounds and not letters. So, what alliteration does? Okay, it creates mood, rhythm and music. Okay, alliteration creates mood, rhythm and music. Okay, you have the repeated sound that creates a rhythm. It makes it easy to memorize the phrase. Okay, so when you will notice in most of you can say the advertisement, you can say some sort of, you have catchy things where you need to attract the readers. So, alliteration is used, okay, and it's also easy to memorize and remember. There is a fun element when phrases or lines with alliteration are read aloud. Okay, so usually you see this happening in tongue twisters. Okay, a lot of alliteration. Okay, alliteration is used, and there's a fun element. Okay, when you make the other person read that phrase with too many alliteration, and then the person may make mistake, and then there's a lot of, you can say, people start laughing. Okay, you have that fun element. Okay, common examples. Okay, in tongue twisters, see, tongue twister itself, what do you see here? Alliteration, right? Tongue twisters. So, this is a very common tongue twister, we all know, right, since our childhood. So, she sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, so it's tongue twister, isn't it? So, sells, see, okay, isn't it? Same sound, right? She, shell, right? See, shore. So, you will see alliterations used here, and this is a very common, you can say, a famous tongue twister. She sells seashells by the seashore. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Okay. So, another tongue twister. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. Now, this one, okay, a lot of you can say alliteration with the consonant sound of B. Okay. So, many a time I tell my students to do that, say this, okay, fast. Okay. Okay, I in a way have kind of memorized this. Okay, Betty bought a bit of butter, but the bit of butter was a little bitter, so she bought another butter to make the bitter butter better. So, tell your friends to read it in, you can say this fast, like, what happens then? Your tongue starts twisting, right? So, you can see alliteration, right? Betty bought a bit of butter, right? See, Betty bought, they're adjacent, right? Consecutive. And then you see bought a bit. So, in between there's a word a, but then it's very close, isn't it? Closely connected. Now, bought a bit of butter, but the bit. See, but the bit of butter was a little bitter, so she bought another butter to make the bitter butter better. Okay, so this tongue twister is written in another way also. Okay, this just to help you get idea about what alliteration looks like. Okay, and since you are all reading in grade 5 and 6, I am sure you all love watching cartoons, isn't it? And you know cartoon characters. Cartoon characters. See? Do you see something here? Cartoon characters. Okay, so that you remember the name, okay, you can say alliteration is often used, okay, because alliteration in a way helps memorization easy, okay, and it also makes it catchy. So ads, okay, you can say the manufacturer, or you can say ad industry, when they add, you can say captions to the product, they try to make use of alliteration so that it comes out catchy and people remembers. Okay, remember that. So look at some of the cartoon characters. They see if they are your favorites or not. So Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, ma, right? What initial sound? I told you it's initial rhyme or head rhymes, right? Mickey Mouse. So alliteration here because the repeating sound of okay, Mickey Mouse. Donald Duck, okay, again a famous character, right? Cartoon character, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and these days you often see kids watching Peppa Pig, right? Peppa Pig, again you see alliteration, right? Peppa Pig, and you have the famous Shaun the Sheep, right? Shaun the Sheep, Shaun the Sheep, sh, okay, sound is repeated. So alliteration. So the name of cartoon characters in which you find alliteration, okay. So there may be more, right? These are the 4 that I could think of, and then so I just wanted to share with you, okay. Personification, okay, another poetic devices. So if you look at the word itself, personification, if you break it, person, right? Personification, if you just take the first half, right? Person, the meaning in a way kind of personification is giving human qualities to inanimate animal, inanimate object, animal, or any abstract idea or thought. So giving it, making it, you can say, or presenting it in the form of human as a person, personification. Okay, I hope you will remember in this way, okay. Personification, if you just think of the word person, right? Person, human beings, person, right? So animate objects like Gedin Sarkela in his session, I don't know if you have watched it or not, in his session talked about objects like duster, chalk, pens, okay. These are all inanimate objects, objects without life, okay. And you can, personification is also used to give human qualities to animals, okay, and an abstract idea or thoughts that you cannot see, right? You know abstract noun, isn't it? So when you give human qualities to these things, it is called, the device used is called personification, okay. It is a poetic device in which an animate object, animal, or an abstract idea or thought, right, is given human qualities, okay. For example, the morning sun greeted me with a warm smile, okay. So here I have personified the morning sun as if morning sun is a person, as if the morning sun is a human being. Okay, how have I personified? The morning sun greeted me with a warm smile. Okay, the sun smiled at me. Okay, so like human beings, we greet each other in the morning, right? Or when we happen to see each other, we greet, isn't it? So the morning sun greeted me with a warm smile. Okay, and yesterday when I was telling you about different types of poetry, okay, I told you about haiku. Okay. Some of you might have learned about haiku. So I told you the haiku first originated from Japan. Okay. It's a 3-line poem. Okay. So you see, Why I have brought this haiku poem? Because there is personification here. Okay, slanting, windy rain, umbrella, raincoat and rain talking together. Okay, so this haiku, what you need to remember is, if you haven't learned about haiku, haiku is a 3-line poem. Okay, and there is a pattern. Okay, the first line needs to have 5 syllables. Okay, the second line is formed by 7 syllables and the third line is formed by 5 syllables. Okay, so in all you have 17 syllables. And what you need to remember is, when you write a haiku poem, it should be about an element of nature, or you can describe a season. Okay, usually you can say a haiku describes an element of nature. It talks about nature and season, right? And what you need to remember is, you need to be careful about the syllable count. Okay, the first line 5 syllables, second line 7 syllables, and the third line 5 syllables, and it just conveys a picture. Okay, let the readers you can say imagine the thing. And earlier, like when it first began, this, you can say, particular thing used to be the beginning line, okay, the first part of a long poem, and then later on it came into existence as a separate part. Okay, a haiku. So let's look at this. Slanting, windy rain. Okay, see, count the syllable, right? Slanting, 2 syllable, right? Windy, rain, so 5 syllables. Umbrella, raincoat and rain, 7 syllable. Umbrella, 3. Raincoat, 2 syllable here, right? And rain, so that makes 7 syllable, right? Talking together, right? 5 syllables here. So the last line, talking together, shows that the slanting windy rain, umbrella, raincoat, rain, they are all talking together. Okay, so as if the windy rain, the umbrella, raincoat and rain, they are kind of like person, like human beings. And what else do we see here? Talking together, not just this shows that this is a personification, we can see alliteration here as well. Talking together, t, t. This sound is repeated, isn't it? Talking together, this sound is repeated. So you can see alliteration also here, though this is a good example of personification. Clear? Okay, let's have another one. So this is a poem I have written during my school days. Okay, so this is something I still have with me. So during my school days I have written this poem. So Miss Matchstick. So the title, Miss Matchstick. So I have tried to personify the matchstick, and the title also you can see, matchstick, you know, right? Matchstick is given a human character, isn't it? And then Miss Matchstick makes it alliteration. Okay, Miss Matchstick, the sound. Okay, so let's look at how slim Miss Matchstick is, with figures so pretty that I always envy its ever-increasing beauty. But alas, she is gifted only with a head and no brain. That's why she catches fire easily without much strain. Matchstick, your easy burning issues forth a serious warning. All earthly beauty, power and pelf are temporary and a mirage to self. Let this be a lesson to human race, to enjoy and lead life with grace. So this is a poem I wrote in 1997, right? So I have highlighted some part here. So the first one, how slim Miss Matchstick is, to show that Miss Matchstick, the matchstick is the human character, a lady, right? Miss Matchstick. I'm envying its beauty, right? And then you will also find rhyme pattern here. Okay, pretty, beauty, is, its. Okay, only, easily, brain, strain. So Gideon Stargell discussed about rhyme scheme for senior classes. So A, B, A, B. I have tried to follow this pattern. Okay, A, B, A, B. Matchstick, your easy burning, and here it's A, B, B, right? Okay, burning, warning. Okay, earthly beauty, power and pelf. Here I have highlighted this because here you can see an alliteration. Okay, per sound here, power and pelf. Okay, are temporary and mirage to self. Perf and self rhyme. Okay, and you will also find lead life. Okay, there's alliteration here, to enjoy and lead life with grace. So during my school days, so my purpose was to personify and kind of create a kind of rhyme. I was not knowing I was also kind of making use of alliteration. This one I realized quite late. Okay, so this sometimes you happen to write something and then you can say unknowingly you make use of some other poetic devices as well. So this also happens when you write poetry pieces. Okay, this just to help you get an idea about personification and alliteration. Okay, so after this, what we are going to do is, now the part that I just wanted to show in the PowerPoint presentation or the slides is over, but what we are going to do is we are going to now try writing. Okay, with the help of, I'm not going to follow the whole writing process, okay, just to save time. Okay, and I just want to tell you that when I was preparing for this particular session, I was just thinking whether to go on with the whole writing process like I did in the first session. I thought of, okay, since I'm dealing with the same class, right, class 5 and 6, so rather than going through the whole writing process, I'm going to help you write a poetry with the help of a mentor text. Okay, with the help of a poetry piece that you already know, and from that we are going to develop or create another one. Okay, and because for that, okay, yesterday night I was kind of trying to think of ideas. Okay, what could be the best one to help you with what is the topic that I'm going to write on. So I'm already prepared with that, so I will just share. Okay, so this is a kind of note, okay, and just the missing part I filled in this morning. Just to tell you, we are going to practice using a mentor text. So the famous nursery rhyme you all know, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Okay, so this would be my mentor text. Okay, the mentor poetry. Okay, from there I'm going to create another one to help you learn how to do that. Okay, you can also try this way. Okay. Up above the world so high. I wish I can hear you also, okay, recite this. Okay, so this is the nursery rhyme which I am going to use so that we can write another poem, okay, another piece, right? So twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. So this is what you have learned, right, as a child, and even like class 5 students, they might remember, those who have just started learning English from grade 4. So you might have learned or listened to so many English rhymes, nursery rhymes. So what we are going to do is, we are going to use and try to follow this pattern. Okay, what we will do is, twinkle, twinkle, we will count, okay, the syllable, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So we have, I think, 2, 2, 2, 6, 7. Okay, so I will just share with what I have in a way prepared so that you understand. Okay, twinkle, twinkle, little star. So here I am going to make use of, see, my purpose would be to make use of alliteration as well as personification. Okay, and then I am going to use other poetic devices as well. Okay, So like in the first session, I took the, you can say, raindrop as the topic idea. Okay, raindrop. I'm going to do the same thing here with rain. Okay. Tip tap, tip tap, tip tap, drops of rain. Okay, this is how I wanted to begin. See, you can count. So I'm just trying to create the rhythm as well. Okay, twinkle twinkle little star, tip tap, drops of rain. Okay, so you are, I'm following the same pattern. Okay, twinkle twinkle little star. So here the star, you are talking to star. Okay, comparing star to a sky. Here simile is used. Here I am using personification. Okay, I can say tip tap, drops of rain. I can see you come again. So this is what I have written. I can see you come again. See, what you will see, I am also following a rhyme pattern, right? I am making it rhyme. I can see you come again. Okay. Okay, so 31 minutes. Why is sky crying all day like a child lost on the way? Okay, so I need to put a question mark. Why is sky crying all day like a child lost on the way? Okay, so if we follow this, see, this is the mentor text. I'm using this one and I'm trying to follow the beat, the rhythm of this rhyme. Okay, twinkle twinkle little star, so tip tap, drops of rain. How I wonder what you are saying. I can see you come again. Why is sky crying all day like a child lost on the way? See, I have used this. Okay, I have tried to follow the same rhythm and pattern of this rhyme to create another. Okay. You can count the syllable, tip tap, drops of rain. So you have 7. So if you count the syllable in this rhyme, you will find there are 7 syllables in each line. How I wonder what you are. See, how I is 1 syllable. Wonder what you are. 7 syllable, right? Up above the world so high. Again 7 syllable. Like a diamond in the sky. 7 syllables. So in all the lines, we find 7 syllables. So I try to follow the same pattern, okay, to create the rhythm. Tip tap, drops of rain, 7 syllable. I can see you come again, 7. Why is sky crying all day like a child lost on the way? Okay, and you can add more lines. This is just 4 lines quadrant, so I am just going to add more so that I can end this. Okay. Is there something? This is the way I write I, okay? Or if you are not comfortable, I can write this way. And I want to tell the students, okay, is there something I see? Whenever you write this letter I, and when this I represents you, okay, denotes you, you have to write it in capital, okay, even when it is in between the sentences. Otherwise, we tell you that you cannot capitalize a letter unless it's in the beginning of sentence or if it's a proper noun or specific things, right? So, but when you have, because sometimes I see students writing because they are following that the rule that you cannot capitalize a letter when it is written in sentence, in between, right? So, they write like this. So, this is wrong, okay? You have to capitalize I, okay? Please do remember this. Is there something I can do to make the sky Okay, so this is what I did last night, and I had a hard time, let me tell you, because this is not something I can just come and create within 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, that's not possible. You have to spend time, because the writing process that I'm not doing here, because I have followed this. I followed the writing process at home, okay, during my preparation for this lesson. Okay, so I followed the writing process, and what you see is the end product. Okay, and I had a hard time telling you, I'm telling you, see, rain, again, that was not very difficult. Day, and this was also fine. So the last part, is there something I can do? So I wanted to write this, and then I was finding it hard to get a word that could rhyme with do. Then I thought of changing it as, is there something I can tell? Is there something I can tell to make the sky smile as well? So I just thought of, then I felt like, this is not very good. And then this morning, like just before my session, I discussed with Gideon Saragila also, if you could suggest me a word that could rhyme with do. And then we discussed, and he said, sometimes you can write woo, okay, just, this is, you can say, as a poet trying to take the license, okay, as if you are speaking to a person named Wu. Sometimes you can do that also when you find it very hard to get a proper, you can say, word to rhyme, okay. But thankfully I got this, okay. Is there something I can do to make the sky smile at you? Okay, so rhyme also, okay. And I have followed the same beat, right? Is there something I can do to make the sky, okay, to make the sky smile at, to make the sky smile at you, yeah, 7. To make the sky, 4 syllable, smile at you, 7. So what do you see here? So my focus was to make use of personification and alliteration, right? So, and what do you find? You find alliteration here. See, sky, smile, right? To make the sky smile at you. Or you can see alliteration here as well. Tip, tap, tip, tap, okay? And this is also an example of onomatopoeia, sound. You have the sound of rain, right? Tip, tap, okay? Drops of rain. You can see onomatopoeia. You will see rhyme here, okay? Rain, again, day, way, do, you. And you have personified. What have I personified? As if the rain, in a way, kind of tells that the sky is crying. So I have compared sky with a child, okay, by using simile as well, right? Why is sky crying all day like a child? Okay, so what you find, so sometimes you can, in a piece of poetry, you can make use of so many poetic devices. So if you can see simile as well. Why is sky crying all day like a child? And then you have personification, because the sky is given a human character, right? Crying. And the rain drops, okay, the drops of rain are like the tears. And not just that, the writer, that is me, right? I am talking as if I am talking to the drops of rain, as if the raindrop is also a human. Okay, why? I can see you come again. Okay, why? Like I'm talking to the raindrops. I'm asking the raindrops, okay, drops of rain, asking why the sky is crying all day. Okay, so as if the rain can talk. Is there something I can do? I'm offering help. Is there something I can do to make the sky smile at you? So what do you find? Personification, as if the rain is a human being, as if the sky is a child. Okay, so what do you find? You have personification, you have alliteration, okay, sky, smile, right? You have rhyme, you have onomatopoeia, you have alliteration, and then you have the proper rhythm as well. It's a beat, right? Tip, tap, because you can, there's a music when you follow a proper rhythm, right? Tip, tap, drops of rain, I can see you come again. Okay, like this, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Why is sky crying all day like a child lost on the way? See, you see the rhythm? Is there something I can do to make the sky smile at you? So, rhythm is created. Okay. So why I have brought this piece of, you can say, rhyme written by me is to help you. Okay. Otherwise, see, this is one written by famous poet, right? So this is just to help you, because I am not a famous poet. Okay. Why I am giving my example, okay, something that I have written, is to help you that you as a student can also try. Okay. For writing a poetry, you need not be a very famous poet on the first hand, no. Okay. You can try, and then gradually you will develop your skills of writing poetry. Okay. And since you are in grade 5 and 6, you can try this way, taking help of a mentor text and then following this pattern. So like I have done this. So your assignment would be try on another poem, a rhyme. Okay. Like this, what you can do is, till we meet next, I want you to try writing such rhyme. Okay. See, I have written 6 lines. You can just write 4 lines. Okay. You have a lot of nursery rhymes, right? You have Humpty Dumpty, right? You have Jack and Jill went up the hill. You have Baba Black Sheep, and then you have Incy Wincy Spider. There are so many nursery rhymes. Okay. You can think of, and then you choose one as your mentor text. Okay. You just keep that, and then you try to understand, you try to follow the rhythm, the beat. Okay. And what you can do is, if not able to, you can see, use lot of poetic devices, doesn't matter, at least you try writing a rhyme by at least, or you can make use of a simile or just one poetic device. If you can add more, very good. If not, not a problem. At least you try to make a rhyme following this proper rhythm, the beat. Okay. Like this. So I have done this just to help you understand that you can also work like this. Okay. Take help of a mentor text, a rhyme already prepared, okay, already written by a famous poet, and you try to follow that. Is that clear? And it would be really good. I'm sure it will come out very well. But then you need to follow the writing process like I did in the first session. Okay. Here I don't have time to follow the writing process. The writing process I have already followed at home. I did my homework. Okay. So you can do that. Right? You follow the writing process, and then the final you can share with your teacher and see, they would love to see you come up with a wonderful piece. But even if it doesn't come out very good, doesn't matter. Your teacher will appreciate your hard work, your attempt. At least you tried. Okay. And I'm sure you will do that. Okay. Please make an attempt to follow or do such writing. Okay. So the next session is will be taken by Gidin Stagila, and it will be for class 7 and 8. And so class 5 and 6 students, I will see you in the next week. So till then, take care.